tutorial on how to pin. We are gonna go to layout and cutting instructions, page 5. Jill, you're gonna have to catch up because you were not here. All right, so number 5 is preparing the fabric. So the first thing you need to do is you need to get a pen or a marker and you need to cross off what you have done here. So the first one says pre-shrink your fabric. Has everyone washed their fabric?
Yes.
So check mark. Then cut the pattern pieces apart. Has everyone cut the pattern pieces apart?
Yeah.
Okay. And if the pattern pieces are wrinkled, use a warm or dry iron press. Okay, if your pattern pieces are wrinkled, use a dry or warm iron. All yours should be good because you're going to finish cutting them out today. So what we're going to do is we are going to lay out our fabric according to here. Now, 2 things to notice. This shaded area right here, this represents the right side of the fabric. So your pretty side of the fabric on your entire directions. That's important to remember.
How are you going to know the ones that are different?
She said you're going to take one. We'll talk about the ones that are the same. When it's white like this is, it means the wrong side of the fabric, okay? So we're gonna go ahead, me and Courtney, and since it's hers, she's gonna come right here, and we are going to unfold her fabric. She's gonna take half, and I'm gonna take half, and you're gonna do this with a partner today. Your partner is gonna help you today, and tomorrow they're gonna help you. Let's take that edge, and take this edge, half like a hot dog. You guys ever heard that when you were younger? Yeah. Hot dog hamburger. Okay, and then we are going to fluff it. Fluff, 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 fluff. Okay, and then we're going to lay it down on the table. Do you see how this edge doesn't match up? Well, Courtney and I are going to come and we're going to move it to it, and then we're going to spread with our hand the other direction. We want the middle part to be flat. You want no fabric mountains in the center of your fabric. Okay, perfect. All right. So then, on your directions, there is a salvage end and there's a fold edge, okay? You want to turn your directions just like your fabric is laid out. So here's mine, this is the fold right here, and here's the fold right here. So I need to turn my directions like this, so it's laid out just like that. All right, so there's our fold. Our first one I'm going to put on here is D back, okay? So I'm going to put D back. It goes right here by the salvage end of the fabric. You're going to put it somewhere near the top. Now, Courtney's fabric is not perfect up here. So do not put this line right here directly at the top because you're going to not have a good waistband. So we're going to put it just a little bit lower. We're going to put it towards the edge. And the first thing we're going to do is we're going to dry fit it. Right, Val? We're going to dry fit it. So I'm going to put a pin in it just to hold it into place. And then I'm going to push my fabric down. And I'm going to grab the other pant leg. Someone want to give me their B? Someone give me their B. Courtney's not done cutting hers out. Someone want to get me their leg?
I can do that.
Hmm? Well, if you cut it out.
I'm fine holding it.
Oh, okay. B. It's a pant leg. It's a big one. Okay, perfect. Never mind, dude. So what you're going to do is you're going to put this at the other end. We're going to dry fit to make sure that it fits. Now, this company, leave that over there. This company gives you just what you need. So that's why, Val, we have to dry fit it. So I'm going to put the other one here. I'm going to put it at the top. And then I'm going to bring it down here. Do you see how the paper is overlapping?
Yes.
Is it okay for the paper to overlap?
Yes.
Yes. The only thing that cannot overlap is your colored line. So this colored line goes to right here, which is right here on the paper. So her paper can overlap. And why you dry fit it is because if you guys tore off too much yesterday off your fabric, we're going to have to like angle it and stuff so it can fit. So you dry fit it first. If it doesn't fit, you say, Miss Morris, it doesn't fit. And then I will come and I will help you. If you have a solid color fabric, you should have plenty. I got you guys 3 yards. You should have plenty of fabric. This is just for the people with a pattern, okay? So dry fit it. Then you're going to bring it back, and now we're going to talk about pinning it on. So you're going to go into your pencil case, and you're going to get your measuring tape. Right here, this is the grain line of the fabric. Okay, this little arrow right here is going to tell us how to put our pattern on here so it's not crooked. If you have ducks, or if you have frogs, or you have anything with like a repeated pattern, you don't want your frogs to be crooked, right? Or you don't want your tie-dyes to be crooked. So we measure the grain line so our pattern here is the right direction. So what you're going to do is you're going to take your measuring tape, you're going to put this on the arrow, and then you are going to measure to the folded edge. So not the ugly edge, the folded edge. And I'm going to get a number. I got 19. Perfect. I'm going to put my finger there, and I'm going to put a pin in. Then I'm going to go to another part of the line here. And I'm going to measure it across. I want this arrow to have all the same measurements. So what was my measurement here? 19. So right now this is at 18.25. So I need to move my paper so I can get it to be exactly on 19. Okay, 19, put a pin in. Now, you may get 12. You may get 13. Your number is going to be different than my number. All you need to make sure is that the entire arrow is that same amount. If Jayla gets 13, her grain line arrow is 13. Mine was 19. So I'm going to go again, about a hand width away. Measure again, exactly 19. Okay, so that's how you pin the grain line. Questions on grain line? Okay. Once you do your entire arrow, about every 4 fingers or about a hand width, you're going to pin around the entire thing. When you are pinning around the entire pant, you need to pin inside of the colored line here. Okay? We don't want to put a pin on the line because when we go to cut it, we're going to cut on that line and we're going to go cut, 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 and we're going to take the pin out in order to cut. So where you should put your pin is inside of the colored line, like there. You also want to be perpendicular. You know, parallel is this way. You want to be perpendicular like this. So when you are cutting, I'll show you an example. You do it parallel, you're cutting, cutting, cutting. Could you nick your finger with that edge of the pin? Yeah. So you always want your pins to be this way. The only time your pins are parallel to the line are for grain line. Okay? The last thing when you're pinning, you're going to do every 4 fingers for pinning, or about every hand width. The last thing is when you get a notch. We talked about those notches yesterday. They're the diamonds. Okay? When you hit a notch, you put your pin right on the notch. Because the notches are going to tell us where 2 pieces of fabric are going to line up later. So when we're cutting, 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 and we get to a notch, we don't want to cut it off. We want to cut around the notch. And we'll go over that with cutting, but I want to make sure when you're pinning, you pin on the notch. Okay? So again, put it on, dry fit both sides. Then you're going to go do the grain line. You're going to get a measurement from here to here. Use it for the entire arrow. Then you're going to pin perpendicular to the line. In a corner, you could go on an angle. Okay, like that. And then you're going to pin on top of the notch. Once you do one leg, you're going to go do the second leg. And again, you're going to work with a partner. So your partner will help you lay it out and pin today, and then tomorrow you will help them. All right? If you forget anything I said, I'll put that video up on YouTube. If not, right here on the wall, there's a little thing about how to measure a grain line and how to pin.
You got a green